Welcome to TerrierVision. We're here with Wofford volleyball second-year freshman Alyse High. Alyse, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
From Harrisonburg, Virginia, Spotswood High School. This is technically you're one of the 10 freshmen on the team because you redshirted last year, so you're athletically a redshirt freshman, but academically a sophomore. Do you relate more to the freshmen on the team, or do you see yourself more as an upperclassman with there being so few upperclassmen?
It's hard because there's definitely times where, especially on the court, not having a year of game time experience, I feel like I relate more with the freshmen, and I understand what it feels like being on the court as a freshman and like having a little bit of nerves and making those freshman mistakes and like things that you'll figure out once you get older. But I definitely think with there being only 6 of us upperclassmen, there's definitely a lot of things that you learn from having a year of college experience to your second year. Like, there's just so many more things that I understand and that I feel like with time they'll understand too.
So let's talk about the upcoming match against Western Carolina on Saturday, homecoming. Now, last year, Wofford went into Cullowhee. Western Carolina was 4-0 in conference play, and the Terriers handed Western their first conference defeat. This year, not exactly the same scenario. Western Carolina started 0-4 in conference, but they have since won 5 in a row.
Yeah.
So they're 5-4 in the SoCon. Is it kind of the same feeling going into this match for the whole team? You really want to kind of stop Western's run? Yeah,
definitely. We want to go in there and stop their run, stop their momentum completely. I think the way Western plays is they definitely are just keep the ball in play. Like, they don't make mistakes. They give us the ball. They try and like let us make the mistakes, which we will because we have an aggressive style play. But I think ultimately in the end, our aggressive style play will beat out their just playing it safe type of play.
Now, as we mentioned before, last year you redshirted the season. We're at every practice, but weren't allowed to play in any games. So this year, finally being able to play in games, like, first of all, how is that?
It's awesome. It's nice to finally be in practice and know that you're working towards playing that weekend and that all of your hard work is paying off with game time. And like seeing the results of last year, it's definitely a different feeling having that redshirt year because I had a whole year of just practice after practice, working on getting better on different things and not ever working towards playing in a game that weekend. So it's just a whole different, like, you want to play so bad because you went through a whole season of practice after practice with no game time. So it's really exciting and I'm definitely loving it.
So, but not only are you playing in games this year, but I would say through the last 5 matches, you made quite a few starts. You kind of worked your way into the starting lineup as the season's progressed. You know, how has that been for you, knowing you've put so much work in your redshirt year and the amount of work that you've put in this year, getting into the starting lineup?
It's just a really like satisfying feeling when you know like there's definitely hard times where you are struggling, and I've had a lot of those times, especially as a redshirt freshman, and it's such a like relief when you finally are like, all my hard work's paying off. Like, I am working my butt off and it is paying off. Like, I'm starting now. So it's nice to see the results.
So let's talk about the season so far. Wofford currently 10-15 overall. You started the season, went on a run of where the team won 7 of 11 games toward the middle of the year. That began with the 5-set win against William and Mary. Since then, started 2-1 in the Southern Conference, but have struggled a little bit as of late. 2-6 now, hoping to turn that around against Western. If you could touch on some of the positives from this year, and then kind of some of the things that you think the team needs to work on.
Okay. I think from the positive standpoint, we are seeing so much potential. Like, the talent in Wofford's gym now is more than I think the talent level has been in the gym ever before, which is something really exciting. Like, when I came in last year with Coach Sweet as his first year, you know, like, he had a lot of goals and he knew it was going to take time. And I think even though we're struggling right now, when you step back and look at it, everything that's happened just since last year and like where steps we've taken towards our goal of changing Wofford volleyball, like, I think we're making leaps and bounds as far as that goes. But being in it, and we have lost a few games that we shouldn't have lost recently, and it is a frustrating feeling because though we've set these goals and we know it'll take time, obviously we still want it now. We're all competitive athletes and we see the potential. So that's just a really hard thing for us to deal with. I think it's just figuring out how to all stay focused together as one and all play as one solid unit, and everybody be showing up consistently more than having a bad game, playing really well, like just finding that consistency and playing together as one on the court.
So how hard is it maybe for some of the girls on the team, especially the 9 freshmen? This is their first year. You know, everybody thinks they're going to come in and just change the program around immediately, and we all wish it could be like that.
Right.
But, you know, how hard is it to kind of stay positive through the downswings of the season, knowing that as long as you put the hard work in, those upswings will come, but it's, you know, it's just when they come.
I think it's definitely hard, and there's moments when you're so frustrated and it seems like it's never going to get better. But for me, it's easier to look back on another moment when I was feeling that way, like I felt like it was never going to get better. I felt like everything was just crashing down, you know, like it was just something had happened and we were struggling, something like that, and then look at how it's changed and see how, even though in that moment like it felt awful, like look at how it turned around, and like a few weeks later then things were better. Like just trying to stay positive and realize that the hard work will pay off, and to keep focused no matter what.
Now let's get into the academic side of things. Your second year, have you declared a major yet?
No, we have to declare second semester of our sophomore year, but right now I'm thinking I'll double major in biology and Spanish. I'm not for sure, but that's what I think I want to do. I've kind of stuck with the Spanish to see if I still like it, and this year it's going great. I love my teacher, I love the class and everything we're learning with the new level, and there'd be an abroad opportunity with that, which I think would be really cool. And then biology, I've just always loved the sciences. I like the idea of working in the medical field someday, so.
Now you said biology, you gave us the reason as to why you decided on that, but what's the reason for Spanish?
Spanish. I took Spanish in high school and was always interested in it, but didn't really love it. Like I didn't have the teachers that were like showing me the opportunities with it, sort of thing. I don't know, it wasn't really a priority for me, but being at Wofford, you have to have a language requirement. And I'm really glad for that, because if I hadn't been forced to take a language, I probably wouldn't have. I would have just used my credits from high school and opted out. But being in Spanish my first year, I had a teacher from Spain who was over for the semester, and I just loved it. And then I talked to a few girls on the team who were Spanish majors, and they talked about the abroad experience and how many different ways it can help you. And especially with being in the medical field, being able to translate would be really helpful and set me apart when it comes to applying for jobs. So I just have really been interested in it since, and seen the perks that it could bring for my future.
Now you talked about possibly studying abroad. When would you do that? Would you do that during an interim or over the summer? And have you thought about where you want to go?
Definitely Spain, because I want to be over in Europe and be able to travel and see other places while I'm there. But I think Coach Sweet recommends we do it spring of our junior year. Okay. So that would be next spring for me, which is kind of crazy to think about. But yeah.
Now, having redshirted last season, do you see yourself playing volleyball through a redshirt senior season, or just 4 years and then?
I'll definitely come back for my redshirt year, for my 5th year, for sure. I think, one, the team will be at a whole new level then, and I want to be a part of it, and also I want to see through what I started. Like, I had the redshirt year and didn't play that season, so I want my 4 solid years of playing.
All right. Well, Alyse, thank you so much for joining us and giving us a glimpse inside the Wofford volleyball program.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
That was Alyse High, second-year freshman with the Wofford volleyball team.